Hi everybody, it's Tom, and it's Saturday, August 20th, 2011, and started blocking the tub or body of the Jeep, and I wanted to show you what I was looking for. Again, this is the first primer stage on this vehicle, and it has 3 medium wet coats on it. And you can clearly see where I've sanded and haven't sanded. You know, I haven't sanded here, but I sanded here. You see my guide coat everywhere. Now, this looks real good up here, but then we got an imperfection here. We got another one here, here. These are very minor, but yet they're imperfections. So I wanted to show you all my little imperfections that I've found on this side. We got a little bit of stuff going on here, and that right there is hidden. I don't know how I'm going to address that yet. I just haven't sanded too much around that area. I'm going to take my soft block and go around there. That's all been my hard block up to there. And then we have a tiny little spot there, very tiny. We have a couple of them across the bottom there. Nothing bad. And those are very minor right there. On back here we got a spot right here. This I'm not worried about at all. It's a fender flare, so I won't be fixing that. Here you can see a little discoloration, hopefully. Here, several spots along that line right there, and this is the biggest one right here. I have a pretty big area there, which I can feel. And we got a little spot right down there. Anyway, my point is, this is what I'm looking for. I've blocked this down with 80 grit about as far as I'm going to take it. Started to break through in some places, so that's as far as I'm going to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some glaze, put it on here, and before I go to 180, and try to get the goal here is to get all my spots fixed before I go to 180. I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing. This is how I do it, right or wrong. This is the process that I go through anymore to get to where I want to go. And I wanted to show you where I was at, and then I'm going to turn the camera on again. I got this fender up here sanded. It was pretty beat up, a lot of straightening. This line right here is pretty good. Actually, it's pretty straight, straighter than I actually thought it was going to be, and so it all looks pretty good. I have a couple breakthrough spots here. Now, I don't know if I pointed out in any previous videos or not, but when I have those breakthrough spots and I have shiny metal like that, if there's a lot, like the first time I primed this, I had blasted these hinges. I don't think it was on the video. I have blasted the hinges. They had some rust around them. I wanted to make sure that I got my bolts clean so that we don't have a crappy looking paint on paint type thing going on in there. So they were blasted with my little portable blaster. And then of course the corner that I rebuilt on the back side, it was all bare metal, and all the big bare metal spots I put epoxy primer on. I just spotted it on. Now after that, you know, when I'm sanding here, I'm only going to have some small areas, like here is a breakthrough, and up here is a couple breakthroughs. So what I do with that is I just take that self-etching primer and give it a squirt out of a can. You know, to try to get something on there instead of mixing up epoxy primer. You know, I'm not needing but a tablespoon. You know, by the time I get to this stage. So that's what I do before, as I'm getting ready to prime and get it all cleaned up. The first thing I do after I get it all cleaned up and tacked off to prime is go ahead and shoot that on there and let it set for about 15-20 minutes. And just one coat, just change the color of it. That's all I do. And then I apply my primer over it. Because I don't know if you can. I don't know for sure if you can put this primer, 2K primer, over bare metal. Seems to be conflicting opinions on that. So I just go ahead and shoot the self-etching on there, and to be safe. So I want to give you a look at this, and now I'm getting ready. I'm going to go around and I'm going to block some more of it. All the big areas, the big flat areas, I'm going to finish up blocking them, and then I'm going to get me some glaze mixed up, and we'll have a look at that. I'll show you guys how I go about doing that. So until then. Okay, everybody, we're back, and I want to show everybody how I go about doing this. This is the method to my madness anyway. But you see I got a piece of tape here marking a spot, and the reason I mark all my spots with tape because I'm going to take 80 grit and rough that spot. Well, I've blocked an 80 grit, so you know, I want to be able to see my spot, so hopefully this will be a good enough reference. Now, most places on the body, you know, I sand at angles. The cow, not so much here. There just wasn't room to go at too much of an angle. But the rest of the body, let's see if we can get a good shot at it here. I don't know if it'll show up or not, but if you look, all my scratches are, you know, I got scratches going this way and scratches going this way because that's the way I sanded it, in a cross pattern. And when I sand these little marks, when I sand these little spots here, like there's a bigger one right there, I'm going to sand them. See, all my scratches are at an angle. There's my tape to mark this spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it straight up and down. I'm just going to use my fingers on this because all I'm doing is roughing this little spot right here because it hasn't been sanded at all. And I'm going to sand it two different ways here and just rough it up. And there we go. And you can see the difference there. But I always mark them with tape. Here's another one. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this, or scuff it anyway. Keep the camera on it, and we'll be alright. Okay, so that's ready for my glaze. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to sand all my little marked areas, and then I'm going to come back with some glaze stuff and put a tight little lick in there, as HPR would say. So let me get that. Let me get all these spots sanded. I'll show you the products I'm going to use on it, and we'll go from there. Okay, everybody, we're back, and this is a little bit of talk here about what I use for glazing. Now right here, this is Dynalite Bondo right here. I remember watching a video from Pete, and he was telling how, you know, this Bondo is as good as any, and it's much cheaper, and he's right. I bought this for $14.50 for a gallon. But here's, now also Pete also uses his Evercoat glazing putty just like this and mixes it with this, which I've done that too. But I found something out. It's been a hot summer. I've had a lot of trouble with my Bondo kicking early. I mean really quick, and you know, I put less and less hardener in it, and it really didn't seem to make a difference until I put so little in it that it just didn't really harden up. So this Bondo, I found out, it'll kick fast. I don't know why, but it does kick faster. So when I bought this, I still had some of this other stuff left over. Now this stuff here, this is pretty good stuff. It doesn't leave pinholes or anything like that. And this isn't bad either. It does leave more pinholes than this, which is Evercoat Rage Extreme. Now this crap here, I have to pay about, I think it's $45 or $50 a gallon. But I had some of this left over, and so I thought, here, I don't know, a week or so ago, excuse me, I would try some of this with this, and it remarkably, it is twice the time, if not 3 times the time, before it'll start to kick. So that's what I've been using, mixing this with my putty. Now I'm going to show you how much I don't use very much Bondo, and the only reason I'm using the Bondo is because some of my spots are a little bit too deep, I think, for the glaze. Maybe they're not, I don't know, but just to be safe, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm not going to use very much Bondo at all. That's it. That's all I'm going to use on the Bondo end of it. Now my glazing, I'm going to squirt out about twice as much as the Bondo. Now, James Freddy, Jeff, he left a comment and told me I should try using honey. Jeff, I just haven't gotten any yet, but I am going to try that. I just haven't gotten it yet. So until I do get more different products, I'm going to use the products that I have. Now I'm going to put a little hardener into this. Not that much. And that's going to work out fine. Now I'm going to mix that up, and I'm going to get my spots covered, and we'll come back and have a look. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, I got my glaze on. I put it on generally kind of heavy, I guess. I don't want to have to put any more on, so I try to keep it so that I can you know, I don't have to do it again. This here, I just went ahead and put a lick all the way down there, had several little spots. So we got the bottom masked off there. We did a lot of detail work today. This is Sunday, by the way, so it's the next day. We did a lot of detail work underneath, and we'll get a video on that upcoming. That'll be the next video. We'll show some of the detail work that we've done on the bottom of it. But there you go. Now I'm going to sand these spots down, and once I get it sanded down with 80 grit, we'll get a guide coat on it and block it down to 180 grit. We'll make sure all the imperfections are fixed before I do that. Try to anyway. Sometimes I find more imperfections afterwards, but that's where it's at. And stay tuned, and thanks guys for watching. Take it easy.